Acidicloop here, and we're going to go over a little tutorial here for the Akai Force with my loop-in. I wanted to do a version of the Foy Vance song "Make It Rain," popular by Ed Sheeran. So it's a little bit interesting to try to do that on the Force because the Force, by default, doesn't really do well with different time signatures. But I'm going to show you a way you can kind of get around that for this type of song. So kind of the groove that we're going to be going for, that we're looking for the rhythm here, is going to be like a so it's kind of got that boom, boom, kind of that little shuffle there, little triplets there, and it's kind of got that little rhythm that goes. So that's kind of the groove that we are looking for this particular song. So to get that first, I've already created my drum kits. Well, let me go over what I've already done here prior to the video. I've started the mic so I can talk, obviously, and what I've done here is I just made an audio track, and I've got my microphone hooked in to line 1, input 1, and I've set it with some effects where I've got the maximizer as my first one. Set that for a master and light default, -10 dB. And then I like the Para EQ freshen preset for my vocals, so I use that one. I don't touch anything of that. And then I put a little noise gate on, usually -44, and then the release 88. That's typically what I do for my vocals on all my songs. And then I've also went ahead to the master, which if you're not familiar, you get to the master by clicking right over here. I already put a maximizer on the output, and I set it to master and light and put a -0.2 dB. Give yourself a slight bit of headroom, not very much, but that's what I've done there. And additionally, I've have a return here, which is for the reverb. And for the reverb, I have it set to Opera House. That's my favorite, and I like that one. And I just leave the defaults for this particular preset. And if you're not familiar with sends and returns, I'll probably do another video on that. But essentially, you set this return with whatever effect you want. And then when you go back, hit master again to go back to your mixer. Then if you go to the actual send of whatever that particular one that you're looking for is, and in this case it would be return 1 or send 1 in this case, so it would be the very first one. So you basically would just tap that, and then you would add more and more of the effect by dragging up and down. Okay, just like that. So that's essentially just a quick overview of a return and send, and it's a way so I can go ahead and not have to stack a reverb on my little microphone effects rack here. Okay, so that's kind of the typical way to do it. And I'll also do my delays on there as well, and I'll also use that for other instruments, maybe some bass or whatever, you know, if I need it on the actual track itself. Okay, all right, so let's get down to figuring out how we're going to do this bad boy. So I already create all my own drum kits. I use an iPad, and I have an app on there called Groovebox. And to me, it's got the best sounding drums I've ever heard. And so I basically just rip those, sample them, and put them in here as drum kits. So there is one in particular for this style. It's kind of got a little bit more acoustic loose feel to it. So I'm going to go ahead. Let me show you what I'm doing up here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the plus up there on the top. And that's going to allow me to go ahead and enter something in here. I'm going to go ahead and do the drums. Okay, add a drum program. And then I'm going to switch over to Note over here on the Akai. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit load. Now I actually have an internal hard drive that I put in here, so I've got everything on my internal hard drive. This one here I've got as a groove box drum kits section, and the one I'm looking for is under Drumology Rocky Rolla. So I've already made the kit. It's got an XPM right there. I'm gonna go ahead and load that. And here, it's got all kinds of good sounds, good samples, and we're gonna use that for the drums. Now, because the Akai does not, out of the box, do different time signatures like 12/8 or anything like that, you can do a triplets type of feel to the song. You'll have to do it with time correct. However, it doesn't, from what I can find, it doesn't actually do it in the metronome. So I'm not going to use the metronome. I'm not going to play in the drums. We're going to program the drums in this particular case. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to go ahead back to my matrix. And for this particular one here, I'm just going to make a 2-bar clip. To do that, you hold Shift, and then on the bottom here, press and hold that. And it allows you to go ahead and set whatever the next track is going to be, however many bars you want. In this case, I'm just going to do 2. We'll go ahead and hit close, and then I'm going to long press inside of here and create a clip. Okay, long press, create clip, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit the clip button like so. So now we're in the actual clip view, and what I'm going to do is switch over to the grid mode. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Now you see right there, it's already on the hourglass right there. So all you got to do is just put your 2 fingers in here and just kind of spread out like this. And that kind of gives you your zoom levels, as it were. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I've got my kick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in first one here. Whoops. Can't see very well. So let me zoom in a little bit more. There we go. All right, so the first one we'll do a kick right off the bat here. If I can get, oh, actually, you know what we got to do first? I forgot. Because we're going to go ahead and do triplets, let me slide this over here. What you want to do first is hold Shift and then hit your time correct button. Hold in on that, and that'll bring up the time correct. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an 1/8 notes, and then I'm going to hit triplet right there. Okay, that's the trick. Hit do it, and now you'll see that each bar essentially has 3 instead of the 4. Okay, so instead of the 4/4, we now have 3 in each bar. So now that we've done that, and we'll probably add swing to it a little bit later. Let me go ahead and zoom that in just a little bit. There we go. All right, so let's start off with just a kick. We'll do a kick there. So it'll be like boom, ch, ch, pop. So my hat is the 3rd one, so let's go ahead and skip one. Actually, let me zoom this in a little bit more. There we go. So maybe let's do there, and then on the bar, boom, top, bump, snare. Okay, so the snare is the 2nd one, the 3rd is the hats. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to hold down tap tempo. We're going to slow it down to about 60. There we go. All right, let's hear what it sounds like first. Okay, so that'll work. And once we add swing to it, it'll make it a little bit better. But we hear that basic boom, pop, pop, bam, right? Now, what I also want to add in there, well, actually, let's finish out the basic rhythm of it. So we got boom, snap, 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 and then probably do 2 more there. And then what we'll probably do is do 2 kicks coming in. So we go boom, hat, hat, see kick, hat, hat, snare, hat, hat, 2 kicks, and we'll continue on. And let's add maybe another hat, hat there, and then snare, hat, hat, and then we have the 2nd kick as well. We'll add that there. Okay, let's see what this sounds like real quick. Make sure I got everything right. Okay, that'll work, that'll work. We'll make it a little bit better here in just a minute. So I think what I want to also add in to give it a little bit of flavor, we'll put a kick maybe before the snare. Let's try that. See what that sounds like. All right, that sounds all right. Cool. All right, so now what we're going to do is going to give it a little bit more swing to it to make it a little bit more flow a little bit better. So I'm going to hold shift, hold in on my time correct, and let's go to the swing parameter. Why don't we crank that up to, I don't know, let's try 65, see what that sounds like. Hit do it. All right, let's play it. Oh, I like that. That's perfect. So what it's doing, basically, if you're not familiar with what that swing is doing, you'll notice that the notes on there have actually shifted slightly. Okay, I guess you could say humanize it, if you will. So it's kind of giving it more of a little bit of a groove, taking it out of its normal time correct, where it's very strict by each bar. And that's what makes it kind of more realistic sounding, a little bit more natural. Okay, so I really like that. That's actually sounding pretty cool. Let's play the guitar with it and see if it actually fits. That'll work, that'll work. I like it, I like it. I guess all that's really left to add is some bass. Let's go ahead and add some bass to this bad boy. Oh, let's see here. I'm gonna go back to my matrix and let's see, I already have a plug-in track right there. So I guess we'll use that. Now I have some that I really like and I'm using the Fabric plugin for this one. I really like their jazz bass. So I have that as one of my favorites. I go to sound, get that to go to my favorites. And I like the double bass that Fabric has. Although I got to mess with it a little bit because I don't really like the default sound on some of these. So let me hit note over here. And that allows me to go ahead and get to that. All right, let's change our key. I'm going to hold shift and hold note. That'll allow me to go ahead and change the key. I'm going to do this in the key of G minor. So let's go ahead and do G. And why don't we just do minor pentatonic. And what I'm going to do is here is switch it from scales to chromatic so I can kind of see the whole thing. Because there'll be some where I want to do like a little chromatic run maybe. So yeah, let's see what we can do with this bad boy right here. Okay, so that's a little harsh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the formant down a little bit. That's not bad. Okay, harsh, harsh, harsh. Not so much. Pop, bum, 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 pop, All right, I think that'll work. So what we're going to do basically is just do the jazz bass. So it starts basically with the verse. It starts in C, then it walks down. Boom, 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 boom. Then it goes goes up to D. Boom, boom. Let's say boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, and then what we'll do is walk it up. Boom, 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 and then we'll have the record come in on that. All right, so let's go ahead and record that. Back to my matrix. So that one I would guess is 4 bars maybe. Let's try it. I think it's 4 bars. All right. So I'm going to move that to 4 bars. I held shift, went down and held down where it says length, moved it to 4 bars. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go up to here and make a clip. Hold in, click create. Now what I've noticed messing around with this is you want to hit stop on the very top so that all of them are solid colors instead of like the faded color, or else the recording when you launch doesn't seem to work right. So I don't know why that is, but it's just the way it is. So I usually do a stop all, and then I make sure I also do a stop up here to make sure it's completely stopped, as it were. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to arm this track. So basically you do a record arm, and then you highlight the track you want, in this case being the plugin, the bass. And then up here on the top, you're going to do record. Now it's armed, ready to go. You'll see it start flashing. And then over on the right-hand side, my launch clip is ready to go. I've got it set on the metronome. Let me go show you my metronome here. I've got it to go ahead and do the metronome just for the count-in on record, and then it stops. And the reason why, again, is because the metronome is not doing the triplets. It doesn't. I don't see any option to allow it to do triplets. So to not throw us off, we're not going to use it during. We're just going to use it for the count-in for the record, okay? All right, so we got that ready. So let's go ahead and do it. Hit launch. Messed up my timing. So what I did is I did stop all. I'm going to go ahead and hold in on the clip. Click on delete. Hold in again. Create. And then I'm going to hit the stop button to make sure it's ready to go. And then hit record button again to arm it. And we're going to give it another go. That metronome was really throwing me off. So let's try it again. Came in too late. Came in too late. Came in too late. So let's go ahead and try that again. Delete. Yeah, that metronome not having it is bothersome. All right, let's try it again. Okay, so what I did there is I just went up to the note right before it, right? The C, the B, I'm sorry, the B flat. And then I let the C come in on the top of the note. So when you're done, you just stop recording by hitting that record right there, and then it will stop. Okay? All right, I think we have something. I think my guitar is too loud in comparison to everything, so let's go ahead and mix it just a slight bit. I like it though. I like what we got going on there. So let's go ahead and change a few things here. First, I'm going to name this one Drums by double-clicking on the top of it. And I know what it is now. It's drums. So we'll hit drums. There we go. And then right there, I'm going to move it to the very front. This is just how I like my flow. I like the drums at the front, bass, and then everything else after. All right, so the next one is the plugin, which is the bass. Let's go ahead and double tap that. And then we'll type in bass. And we'll leave it right where it's at. And then right here, we'll do this one for live vocals. There we go. And we'll leave that right where it's at as well. All right, very cool. So we're ready to go to the master. So let's go here to the master. And I'm going to click on mixer. So we already have our mastered as far as our maximizer. And it's set on -2 dB, so it's not going to go over that. So we're not going to clip. I'm also going to add a little delay in, I think, as well. So I'm going to click on the delay return. And the one I like is one that's called follow. I don't like as long a feedback, so I usually dial that back to maybe 15, something like that. I like this one to kind of go, kind of ping pongs in the head, and I like the 2/4 time. I don't know why, I like it. So, so we're gonna stick with that as well. All right, so let's, while we're already on the mic, let's go here to the volume. Check, check, check. All right, so that's not too bad. What I like to try to do is get around maybe the drums and stuff, maybe around the -9. I got that from Mallow Beats on YouTube. He always tries to get everything starting off with his kick, and usually wants his kick kicking around 9 or so. So that'll work for now, and I'm not really concerned about the vocals for right now on this. But anyways, I think we're good there. Let's go ahead and hit our master again. And let's go to the effects tab. And usually what I like to do, even though the EQ and everything I should do within the plugins themselves, I usually add a compressor and a para EQ. I don't set anything for the para EQ, but I do for the compressor, just to give them balanced volumes. And then from there, I'll turn them down and then turn them up as needed. For my drums, I've already mixed and mastered them and EQ'd them on my iPad, so I don't do anything really with those other than just add compression. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. We're going to go add compression. I'm going to click on the insert effect, go down here to the compressor, and we'll do the same for the bass. And just to have, in case I ever need it, which I probably won't, I'll still add a para EQ in on both of these, just like that, okay? For the compressor, though, I do set that one, and I usually like it on light and tight. So I do the second one, and we'll do the same for here. Right on, right on. So first what we'll do is we'll see what the drums sound like volume-wise. You want them kicking around maybe 9 dB or -9 dB or so. And then from there, we'll turn it up to wherever it's needed, okay? So I'm going to turn it down right now, right off the bat, okay? Hit that. Let's go over to the master. Go to the volume. All right, so it's not quite to -9. So let's go ahead and hit master again to go back to this. This is something that you may mess up on. I did plenty at the very beginning. I started tweaking the knobs here, and that's for the returns. So you don't want to do that. You want to keep hitting master to go back to your original one, and then turn it up there. Okay. All right, let's turn it up a little bit more. All right, so we're right about the 9. There we go. That'll work. So now let's try and see what the bass sounds like. Let's turn that down first. Go to our master. Okay, not quite there yet. Let's turn it up a little bit. All right, that'll work. I like it, I like it. All right, let's play them both together, and then we'll kind of push them up a little bit more, maybe to -6, something like that. Let's go ahead and hit it up. So I kind of want to get it maybe up to -6, okay? Not the peak. I mean, the peak is fine because, like I said, we've got that limiter on there to kind of help with that. So I think the drums can crank up a little bit more. Not bad, not bad. Let's crank up the drums just a slight bit more. Okay, and then the bass will turn up just a slight bit. All right, that's not too bad. Yeah, I like it. Okay, let's see if I can find the words. Let me mess around with it. I got my morning voice, so it's probably not going to sound very good. When the sins of my father way down in my soul, and the pain of my mother will not let me go. Well, I know there can come fire from the sky to refine, that's off, the purest of kings. And even though I know this fire brings me pain, even so, just the same, make it rain, make it rain now, make it rain, oh, make it rain, make it rain, make it rain now, make it rain, oh, make it rain. Yeah, all right, I like that. Sounds pretty cool. My voice ain't all that in the morning, so sorry. Sorry if I was off pitch on the singing, but anyways, that is how you can make a sweet kind of shuffle using the Akai Force, using some tricks there with the triplet. Don't forget it's under the shift time correct, and that's where you'll find where you can do the triplets and then pick whatever the time division that you want. In my case, I just did eighth notes. And sounds pretty cool. Add a little swing to the bad boy, and you got yourself a nice groove. So until next time, don't forget to get in the loop. Acidicloop. Peace out, players.